All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for Monday, August 20th of 2018. It's George Paps of Trade Pro Academy. I'm going to do this update on the camera here on my computer. I'm not spinning around or doing anything. I'm a little energetic today. That's what I'll say. In today's morning market update, we're going to talk about a few things: Greece and Iran primarily, and China and the U.S. relationships and ties, and how that could affect the market today. Before we begin, I will tell you guys this: we are off to the start of what's probably going to be a slow week. We don't have any news until Wednesday, and not any key economic news. Monday, Tuesday, it's going to be slow, and there's less volume. Traders are on vacation, therefore you probably should look to take quicker profits in today's session. And in addition to that, you guys should look to do the threefold rule. Number one is trade less size. Number two is trade less frequently. And number three is take profits and losses quicker. So those three things help you trade in a reduced volatility environment. And those three things are going to be at the top of my checklist for the next 2 days at the very least. Then on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have the Federal Reserve meeting minutes from their last FOMC meeting. That's going to infuse a little bit of volatility into the market. But all in all, this week we don't have any massive planned news. Now, a few things we're tracking with is the Turkish lira. In addition to that, the U.S. and China's trade relationships, whether or not they're going to sit down at the table and negotiate, and any developments out of Turkey and the Turkish lira for correlation market effects. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. In today's morning market update, we're going to cover those topics in a little bit more detail. But first, let's start and take a tour around the world. In Asia, Japan's down 0.3%. Hong Kong's up 1.4%. China's up 1.1%. And India's up 0.9%. So you can see in the Asian session, modest gains across the board, except for Japan. Japan was a little bit more flat than other markets, but strength all across the board in Asia. In Europe at midday, London's up 0.5%, Paris up 0.7%, Frankfurt's up 1 whole percentage point. You're seeing quite a bit of gains in the European markets. And then the futures in the United States have slowed down. The Dow is only up 0.2%, S&P's up 0.2, Nasdaq's up 0.3. So after having a strong Asian session, a slightly weaker European session, the U.S. equities carrying into the market open at a little bit less of a gain. In fact, almost you could call them flat, with very little progress and activity overnight. The S&P 500 closed at 52.5 on Friday after opening at 39.25. So you got about a 12 handle rally, and the overnight range is very narrow on thin volume as well, which suggests we're going to have a subdued volatility type of environment today. All right, crude oil is down 0.4% inside of $65. You're going to find that why in a moment when we talk about the Iran news. Gold's up 0.7%, and Bitcoin is down 1.1%. So Bitcoin's selling off. The only economic news on the calendar today, it's Fed's Bostich speaking at 11 a.m. All right, that tells you what kind of a day we have. He's speaking at 11 a.m. Bostich, and that's all. Okay, no other economic events, major, minor, or low impact. Today is a historic day for Greece, by the way. Almost a decade of financial stimulus and a threefold bailout comes to an end officially today. And Athens will now be able to tap into financial markets globally to raise funds. And what that means is the stimulus has come to an end. Greece has finally pulled through on this round after 3 rounds. They've met their financial commitments. And now that they're no longer indebted or obliged to service their debt to the European Union, they could go out and raise funds internationally. So that's a pretty big thing for Greece. And, there was a point where Italy, Ireland, Spain, and Portugal almost pretty much went bankrupt. And we've survived that point. So the stimulus has worked and helped. All right, that's a little bit of a good news story for Greece. Next thing comes out of Iran about their missile program and their influence. Iran has said they're going to unveil a new fighter jet and celebrate their National Defense Industry Day on August 22nd. All right, and it will continue to develop its mission or missile capabilities, Iran has said. And they've also announced that it's mounted a locally built advanced defensive weapon system on one of its warships, which is a first for the country. They're ramping up their defense spending. They're ramping up their military capabilities. And this comes, not as a surprise, but it helps to confirm the fact that as we approach November, we're going to have those new sanctions come in. And the more that that Iran gets aggressive earlier on, the more likely those sanctions are to actually increase. And that's what the market's pricing into the oil market. So I think today you can have a little bit of a rally, and I'm surprised to see oil price lower. However, it's a slow start to a slow week. So don't be surprised on anything, and don't expect massive moves. Today in oil, we're going to be taking 10 cents profit at a time. Dime at a time ain't no crime. That's what we're saying. All right, last but not least, 6 days of public hearings on U.S. duties imported on Chinese goods, a 25% tariff on Chinese goods, up to $200 billion of goods, is starting today. It's a 6-day meeting, and it will run in Washington in the Chamber of Commerce, and it will provide a written testimony at the end. There's a lot of mid-level Trump administration attendees in this meeting, after which it's believed the Chinese officials will come in to meet with Washington as well. So we're going to hear a lot about this at the beginning of next week, and we may hear developments as this week is ongoing about the trade situation and what they're negotiating. So look out for that. Other than that, this week slow. The news comes in midweek, and this week we're starting out in today's session looking for opportunities to trade, to buy the dip early on, and if that doesn't work, sell the rally depending on how we hold. 52.5 is a great support on the S&P 500. Watch that level very closely. That's what I got for you guys today. Any questions or comments, please pop them in the comment box below. Hope you guys have a great day. Manage your risk. Remember the 3 rules. Trade less size, trade less often, take profits quicker. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day. Goodbye.